Well, hello there. Carol Dockum here with beautifulfacesgoingplaces.com. And we are just super excited because it is 2020. It is the start of a new year and a new decade with new goals, dreams, and aspirations. And I don't know about you. I am just over the moon, and I just can't wait to just jump in. So we are back on track with our Business Spotlight series, and I'm thrilled to be introducing to you Melissa Kirkpatrick. She is just a phenomenal transformational coach, and I am going to introduce her here. So she is also a motivational speaker, transformational coach, and she's also been featured on Cincy Magazine and Cincy Chic, which is an online magazine, and is the author of the impactful self-help book, 5 Steps to Own Your Own Drive. So you can grab your free copy on her website. So you can check that out afterwards, melissakirkpatrick.com, or is it findyourown.drive.com?
Findyourown.drive.com.
And she offers one-on-one services, motivational speaking, and hands-on workshops, and which really allows individuals and teams to shift their drive from stuck to unstoppable through tools, tips, and tricks to navigate the current situation and circumstances to get beyond the struggle. And we all have struggles, and into the flow and ease of living your best life now. So please help me welcome Melissa. Thank you so much, Melissa, for kicking off the new year here with us today.
Oh, thank you, Carol. It's just so exciting to be here into a new decade, into a new year, and having the opportunity to be a part of this beautiful Faces Going Places, and being in your company once again. We met each other years ago, and now we're back. And so that just really fills my soul, and know that good things are well on their way to both of us. So thank you.
They really are. Yes. So Melissa, you just got back from, I think it looked like a very incredible opportunity. Was it a 3-day retreat, 5-day conference called I Love Life or I Heart Life? I'd love for you to share your experience, because seriously, I was following you on Facebook because I couldn't help myself, because you looked like you were just having the time of your life. And I'm like, okay, so tell us all about this experience.
So Emily Williams, who owns I Heart My Life, I met her back in 2014 when I first started my journey on being a coach, supporting other women. And she was at this live event with me as well. And she was creating her own business at the time. She was a former Ohioan and moved to London at the age of 25. And from that place, she started working for a company doing matchmaking. And she recognized her ability to support others on their journey. And so she became this coach of I Heart My Life. And so when I saw that she moved back to LA with her husband, who is now also in the business with her, she had posted that she was going to do this live event in San Diego. I've been to San Diego a few times, and my soul and heart are there. Like, there's just something magical. And so that 2 reasons I wanted to go to San Diego, and the other was to be in her presence again, because she's built this 7-figure company now in such a short amount of time. And she was having some really great keynote speakers at this event. Meanwhile, another friend of mine just moved from Jacksonville, Florida, over to Temecula, California. And so I reached out to her and said, could I maybe come spend a few days with you prior to this event? She's like, absolutely. I would love to have you there. And so I took a 3-day weekend and turned it into a full week by spending time with her and her family. And that's the pictures that I showed. The one that is my profile picture is me at the ocean, where my soul was just lit up.
I think you're like,
yes, I was open to receive. Like, this is home.
It was awesome.
Yeah. So going into the event, oftentimes when you do something like this, it's always a great idea to set an intention, or some people call it goals. But with my clients, I love the word intention, because it takes that extra burden that I didn't reach my goal. Right. And my intention was to go there and really come back with some clarity, really come back with, I've been doing a lot of things these last couple of years now that I am a solo entrepreneur, growing my coaching practice, no longer the other companies and jobs that I worked. And I really just wanted to get that surge of what's next, what it looks like for me. And a couple of things that you said, the golden nuggets. One of them was, the one speaker talked about, imagine you have a Google Drive right next to you, and everything you say, Google is absorbing that information. So when it comes for you to say, what do I need to do? Is Google giving you back the old story that it knows and programmed? Or are you laying down tracks of conversation about who you need to become in order to get to where you want to be?
Yes.
That to me was powerful.
That's
So
very powerful.
Yeah. So we want to be conscious of that. The other thing is I just posted it on my business page today for my Journal Friday about allowing your heart to break in order for it to open to find love. And the one speaker, Dr. James Roush, is very connected to himself, to his family, to source, to life. And from his delivery, when he said that about you got to be willing to break your heart open in order to find the love, it's a Romney quote, I believe. There was just something in that so many times. And I know from my own experience, and you can read in the post, when I went to Peru a couple of years ago, that's what I was told. The shaman said, you're guarded. You have barbed wire around your heart. Like you're just, and I'm afraid to break it, right? I didn't want to break it. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want that. And so that was another nugget. If we think about it, having our heart broken is only opening us up to more love. So in business, in life, in relationships, you know, especially business, that's what we're talking about here. Like when we break ourselves open, allow our heart to be exposed, we learn from that. And it's just a gift. I really was, those were probably the two big things that for me personally was like, wow.
Yes. Well, I can't think of one person that has not had their heart broken. So
yes. Yeah. And it's how you manage it from that point forward. And I'm very in tune to conscious language now in my life. And I teach that to others. I can sit and have my pity party over it, or I can see how it was in service to me. And when you can really look through a different set of lenses of looking at it in that context versus, you know, like a lot of times it's like, for me, if there's something that happens and I want to feel really down about it, my first go-to phrase is, oh my goodness, something better's on its way.
That's great.
Like that shifts my whole Google Drive into fast gear to say, oh my gosh, the possibilities are endless. Maybe this person's, you know, getting out of my life for a reason to open up for better things. Maybe this job is no longer serving me because my heart's over here to want to do this. And that's where I feel I didn't really fully have that message of understanding, opening my heart up in a way that is universal, that it's bigger than I am.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just want to say, you know, I think I've not heard it put into that context of a Google Drive, but, you know, we've all heard about mindset and, you know, the words that we use and the stories that we tell ourselves, but I have not heard it used as a Google Drive. And it is a recorded story and with messaging and words. And so, you know, if you can kind of capture those and stop them and change it, reframe those words and phrases, it can certainly take you into a new direction, right? Into a positive direction.
Yes.
I love the whole Google Drive. That's really cool. I'm going to start thinking that way. How's my Google Drive?
Right. And sometimes we got to delete our cache, right? Like we got to get that out of there.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. And there's a reset button for a reason. Reset.
That's right. Exactly. So tell us a little bit more about, I mean, because I absolutely love your background from teaching to owning a golf course, which really catapulted you into creating Find Your Own Drive, right? And launching your book. And so tell us a little bit about that journey and how that evolved. I think the reason why I want you to share it is because there are so many professionals out there, entrepreneurs. I should really just say more, they're entrepreneurs, 9-to-5, corporate individuals that may be looking for a shift or a transformation or transferring into another outlet or another type of work. And I think you could certainly help them with that transition.
Yeah. It's interesting because I have discovered that every decade I become a new person. And it's not only me, myself as a new person, but also what I do, what my work is in the world. You know, I started my career path as a senior in high school as a secretary, like love that, wanted to be an administrative assistant, executive secretary, fulfilled all that, had my 2 boys, built our home, life is grand. And then it was like, oh, wait, I've checked all the boxes. I have all the gold stars and check marks. And so I was approaching the age of 30 and I felt really empty inside. Like, is this it? Is this what this is about? And I thought because I had married my high school sweetheart, he was the reason that I was not fulfilled. So I was going to divorce him. And that conversation took place. But when I left the conversation, there was something inside of me that didn't make that feel fit. You know how when your gut just kind of says, I don't know, this doesn't seem to fit what you need to do next. And so when I went into my job at that time, I was working in the school district as a secretary of adult ed, teaching adult ed classes because I love to teach people. I got a call from my girlfriend and she said, I'm going back to school to get my teaching degree. And I lit up like a Christmas tree. I'm like, oh my God, I want a degree. That's what I want. I want to be a teacher. So I go home and tell my husband the D was a degree, not a divorce. So we are still married. So everybody can rest assured 31 years into marriage, it's all good. But I knew that fulfilled something inside of me. And I took off on that journey. I worked full time. I went to the boys' sporting events. They were, I think, 6 and 8 at the time. I was going to finish in 4 years because if I took more than 4 years, I knew I would not complete it. And so 4 years later, received my degree, got hired by the school that I worked for as a senior, which is a vocational school. And then I got to go to the satellite program over in the high school, the same district my boys were in. Couldn't have manifested it any better. But that's when I started realizing my own abilities to really manifest and create my life by design. Like I could see it so clear. Nothing was going to keep me from being able to live my best life. I knew it. So into the teaching career, an interesting thing, and I don't know if you knew this or not, Carol, my husband coached my sons in baseball. And I'm like, that's so cool to be a coach. Like, I would love to be a coach, but I don't know what I would coach in. Like, Well, the varsity volleyball coach comes to me, who's a good friend of mine, my mentor, teacher, everything, and says, I would like for you to coach the freshman volleyball team. I've never played volleyball. She said, but you're a smart lady, and I feel like you would know how to coach someone to play volleyball. And my husband reminded me there's a coach in the NBA or college that never played basketball and coached basketball. So I'm like, okay, I'll sign up. I coached volleyball for 3 years, freshman for 2, junior high for 1. But the interesting thing about that was I set it in motion. I said I would love to have being a a coach on my resume. Now, fast forward, I become a golf course owner. How does that happen?
I know, right? How does that happen?
Right. I mean, I didn't play golf at the time, but my father-in-law who built these 2 golf courses asked us to go into a partnership with them. And my husband would get out of the factory and be a part of that. So me teaching, him doing the golf course thing, worked the weekends, took care of all the financial stuff and things. It was great. But then we bought a second one that was just in the area 3 miles down the road. And so when I did that, I knew it was time to transition out of teaching, but I'd only been teaching for 7 years. Okay. So you talk about conversation that was going on behind my back by my parents, by my family. Like, she's crazy. She's nuts. She spent all that time. But truthfully, that degree is what catapulted me in the confidence. I'm a business major. I'm a technology master. So that was what, like, well, heck yeah, I can do this. And I was just early into my 40s when this all happened.
Wow.
So that's where that became. And, you know, I wanted to be, you know, playing a bigger game, living a bigger life, you know, being in the millionaire status, all those kind of things when I was a small child. And then, you know, just seeing how everything just kept, I look back, Steve Jobs talks about that. You can't connect the dots until you start looking back. Then you can really see. And when I was in the golf course business and owning that and loving it and teaching myself how to play the game and being connected and learning all I could, a good friend of mine, which is a friend of yours too, Amy, said to me, Melissa, why don't you teach women how to play the game of golf? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's huge.
It is huge.
And so I developed a curriculum. I brought these women into the clubhouse. I told them about the game, how you score, how you know, what clubs you use, what it means, this, that. And then they started saying, well, will you teach me how to play? And there's where Find Your Own Drive was born.
Wow.
I became a coach on the golf course. So how you show up on the golf course is probably how you're showing up in life.
Yeah.
And how you treat that little white ball, maybe how you're treating yourself or others. And so that's where that all evolved.
I seriously love that story.
Thank you.
I think there's something that you said about setting your intention, and really you were open to opportunities. And I mean, your story is every time an opportunity was presented to you, you didn't say, I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. You said, okay, you saw yourself in that role and you said, okay, I can do this, right? You set that intention in motion. So
yes,
that's pretty incredible.
And the thing that's another piece of that is I didn't grow up in an environment that taught me that.
Right.
That was something I learned over time. My environment, based on my age and the timing, everything was like, well, that's good, but, or when is the other shoe going to drop? Like there was always that undertone. And I watched my father and my mother go through their business and their careers and do their different things. And my siblings, we all have this inner drive in us, which is interesting because we really weren't taught it. It's almost like it was a natural evolution for us to come up and be like, I'm here to play a big game. I'm going to do these things. And, it's happened in that manner. But oftentimes the excuse of not taking advantage of the opportunity is, well, no one else went to college. No one else owns their own business. I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like we use those excuses, which just cuts off the opportunities. Yes. But when you can really and it's not even necessarily the mindset or the motivation, it's that deeper heart space and gut that your soul knows this is for you. And when you can just look away from all the naysayers and all the obstacles and navigate them, then you really find that you are more capable than you ever probably gave yourself credit for.
Yes. So it's really putting on those blinders, right?
Yes.
Especially when in your heart, your soul, in your gut that you're on the right track and you're moving in the right direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's the drive path. That's how I created Drive. Yeah. I do want to mention the blinder piece. So here's what happens, I find, with a lot of clients and just individuals in general. We put the blinders on because we're focused on something to create and do. But what happens is when the blinders become permanent, then we can't see beyond. So if you think about someone that gets in a situation financially, in relationships, whatever it may be, that's like hard and difficult, like everything was going so good and then this happened. Yeah. Those blinders have become permanent blinders, and we never were intended to do that. We were head down, work towards our goal. So as a coach, what I've discovered is I get to take the peripheral vision and allow you just to pull those blinders back enough so that you can start seeing a glimpse that, it doesn't have to be the straight and narrow. One of the examples, what did we learn? You go to school, you get an education, you get a job, you have a family, you retire from that job, and then you pass on. Right. That to me was what I was told. There was no change in jobs. There was a 30-year, 35-year commitment. Yes. There was raising your kids the best you can.
I was raised the same way. Yes.
Yeah. And so to me, that's the blinders that many hold on to. And that's where I come in and help you see past those, beyond those. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I can't tell you how many friends, colleagues, and even within our network here at Beautiful Faces Going Places that are looking for that next thing or their life's purpose, or they just feel unfulfilled in their work or in that track,
Yes.
That they know there's something more out there. They just don't know what it is or can't figure it out. And so I know there are a lot of people out there that need what you have to offer. So, yeah.
Thank you for saying that. I believe that to be true. So it's always nice to have someone else do.
No, I totally believe it's true. So that's why you're here today. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So tell us about the types of coaching that you do. I know you offer one-on-one services. You also do professional workshops and trainings within corporations or businesses as well. And then you have an entirely new program launching on Monday, your Mastermind series. So share about the different ways that you work with clients and ways in which individuals can connect with you. And then I wouldn't mind hearing a couple of success stories. So
okay. Yeah, absolutely. So just so you know that at the end of 2017, we are no longer in the golf course business. And yes, I turned 50 that year. So it all came together as planned with the decade change. And I fully stepped into, I did go work for a couple of companies outside of that time, but now I'm fully in my coaching business and I'm fully supporting women. And, my blinders were, how can I do this just me? And once I allowed my blinders to come down, that's when I recognized what I have, my resume, so to speak, my experiences, my accomplishments, my, everything I've learned as a teacher by trade. I'm ready to offer this to others, at a higher level. I have one-on-one clients who come to me needing that one-on-one support. But what opened up was what you had just said. So these, opportunities to go in and do hands-on workshops with companies or groups, teaching them life by design, back to the basics, allowing you to learn the 5 steps to drive. All of that became evident that I am the messenger to support individuals who aren't ready to really work with a coach one-on-one, don't really know what they need, but I'm able to give them opportunities to start exploring the ideal, to start discovering more about themselves. And as I moved into this work, I recognized that my ability to be that person who's kind of the gateway into your next thing, I'm discovering these women and men, like you had said, that are trying to get out of the 9-to-5 because they know there's something better. They're trying to really grow their multi-level marketing direct sales business. They really want to be at home with their family and spend time there. Like they don't know what to do. And that to me is the place where when you have that little spark, that little glimpse, you need to pursue that. The universe is talking to you. It wants you to really pursue and take action. And so by being able to be in the workshops and then my motivational speaking, being able to come into a business or have a group of girlfriends call me into their living room and just have a conversation has been the most impactful and the biggest charge of my life, because I'm like, oh my goodness, they're there. There's the women and men who are seeking my support.
Right.
The mastermind came about because I recognized that oftentimes we don't want to invest fully in ourselves. We don't feel comfortable being supported one-to-one. We want to be able to maybe get ideas from other individuals. And that's where that came about. I did an 8-week one prior to just Christmas. So we started November and then 2 weeks before Christmas. And the women in that just received such phenomenal support, direction, guidance. And I felt like doing this again, the 6 weeks, when we start Monday, it'll take us to the end of February. What a great way to finish out, the first 2 months of the year. Those are usually the challenging ones. And March comes along, and we're like, okay, I got to get serious. What am I going to do? Right? Because we've already just lost 2 months. January's like flying really quickly.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. So the success of this, being able to be a part of that type of community is, one, you have a master coach here who has been on the training ground myself, for years. I hired my first coach about 12 years ago. It was a business coach. And I've worked with different levels of coaching beyond that. So I might be working with the sales and marketing. I might be working with a mindset coach. I might be working with a spiritual coach. Like I have had multiple experiences and been supported on my journey for where I needed to be, what I was calling in for myself. And sometimes I had 2 or 3 coaches at one time because that's the up-leveling process.
Yes.
So you're
not new to the coaching industry, is
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So the women in the group, they were able to come in with their wins and be celebrated, come in with their ideal or their challenge, get several eyes on the content, give suggestion, give recommendation. I was able to follow up with them after the call so that they stayed in the room, stayed, on their path, because it's so easy to go from week to week and forget in between what it was you said you wanted to accomplish. So that support's there. We come back the next week and it's like, what did you find? What did you discover? How did you move forward? And then what's the next action step? And so what they discovered, they were doing the right things. It was just like they were able to kind of put it on higher octane, like it just now is moving forward. And I truly believe when you come together as one or two, as they say, it's like the magic or the energy, the vibration, all that just takes you up higher than what you can do on your own. The energy is there.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I've experienced it, with our one-on-one conversation that we had in December. So the energy was high and intense and the magic was happening. And I thought, oh my gosh, Melissa, we need to get your message out there into the world. And you have so many people to help and help them find their own drive. So I'm looking forward to working with you. So
me too. Thank you for the invitation and for being a part of this and creating what you created. If you all don't know, I was in the room with Carol when she made this statement that I would like to start Beautiful Faces Going Places. And it was like, now a few years later, 2 years later, is it just 2 years? 2 years?
Yeah. 2 years.
Hello.
Yeah. I actually talked about it for 1 year. I did all the preparation, the research, and gathered my information. And finally, I just said, it's go time. It's time to unroll, just lay it out there and tweak as I go. So it's been a journey. It's been phenomenal. And I'm so excited about the growth of Beautiful Faces Going Places and the new members that we're welcoming, including you. You're going to be on our success team. So you're going to get to enjoy more of Melissa online as we schedule her programming out through the year, and lots of opportunities to work with her directly as well. So yes, I just want to encourage anyone to, what is it that you want to achieve? What are your goals, dreams, and desires? They are possible. Yeah. And we're here to help you. So yeah, thank you so much, Melissa. You're right.
Yeah. And if you just go on my website, you can find, there's a place that you can schedule a call with me. There's a place you can ask questions. You can download my free copy of my 5 Steps to Your Own Drive. And then you'll see the mastermind link there as well. So I encourage you just kind of go check that out and see what might resonate with you, and message me or set up a time, and I'd be happy just to have a conversation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Melissa. And I just wanted to say that Melissa will be our featured speaker at our April Lunch and Learn networking event here in the greater Cincinnati area. So we will be scheduling that. So stay tuned. If you'd like to meet her in person, join us in April, and you can meet her in person and hear her messaging and see how she might be able to help you, because we all have goals to achieve in 2020, and it is time to crush it. So thank you so much, Melissa. Also, on a final note, if you're here in the greater Cincinnati area, Shannon Danistay of 5 Star Social Media and I will be co-hosting a special event called Mimosas and Marketing. So it is actually going to be from, let's see here, 12 to 2 at the First Financial Bank, and that is downtown Cincinnati on 1 East 4th Street. So I will share the link below. We would love to see you attend. There is an Eventbrite, so I'll post that below. But really, it's a great way to kick off 2020. Shannon will be sharing her expertise in marketing and marketing tips and strategies to grow your business in 2020. And I will be sharing the 5 C's to networking success. So I'd love to share that information with you, because it is so critical to grow your business. You really need to network. And that is really called just making friends, really, and helping others along the way. And how can you serve others? So I'm going to be sharing the 5 tips to networking success this coming Sunday from 12 to 2 at Mimosas and Marketing. So I think that's all we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you again, Melissa. We so appreciate you. All right. Cheers to your success in 2020.
Yes.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.